And I would like to welcome you back. It was good for you to come back, and lunch was great. So thanks to the organization, to the organizers who helped with the beautiful lunch. It was very nutritious. You had the green, the yellow, and the white, and the maroon. So they say when the food is colorful, you know it's nutritious. So welcome to the South Sudanese Intellectual Women's Forum and USID uh, uh, conference. We are back to our second part of the presentation. We want to increase the engagement between the grassroots and the civil society, especially on gender-based issues. So right now, we are going to have our fourth presentation by Mr. Kelly, Joma Kelly. You're welcome to come and do your presentation. And it's going to be 10 minutes. Use bullet points. And Aisha is going to put your PowerPoint on, I believe, and we know you're going to do a great job. Remember, we just ate, so if we sleep, then know you're doing a bad job. But if we are awake, then we know you're doing a great job. Please welcome. Can we give them a round of applause, please?
Thank you very much. I want to take this opportunity to welcome everybody back from a wonderful lunch. And so, you're most welcome. First of all, I want to recognize the presence of all my group. We are group 2. Now we have modernized our name to be the confidence group. Yeah. So kindly, I want to recognize the presence of our team by asking you or requesting you to stand up so that you can be seen wherever you are. All my team members. Okay, wonderful. I see others are missing too. 2 are missing. We were 4 gentlemen and 4 gentle ladies among us. Yeah, and they're very wonderful. Thank you for your enormous contribution. We appreciate it. And we hope whatever we are going to share here will bear some fruits at the end of the day. So my name is Adam Kelly, not Juma, as she has stated before. My name is Adam Kelly, and I'll be taking you through this. So kindly, can I ask Aisha, kindly, can you do the presentation? I said. Oh my God. I sent. Can somebody send to her through WhatsApp if it's possible? I think I sent, even shows there that I.
Sorry for the technical issue. You know, you should always be prepared like soldiers. If it works, well and good. If it doesn't, you are prepared. So just come on, and I'm sure you will do a wonderful job. It's all here. Sorry about that. Does anybody else have a computer that we can also use or a flash? It might take time, so just to save time, just go ahead and do the presentation. What are your achievements? What is the disconnect? Was the second question. The third question, how can we improve the grassroots? And the second and the third and fourth question were almost similar. Then what are your strategies? See, even I have memorized the question, so I'm sure you prepared it, you know it. You can even say it without the computer. Go ahead. You said you were Mr. Confident.
Yeah. Now, my confidence, I've gone up to 300,000. So, what I would love to do right now, I want us to do some exercise a bit as we sort out a few things. So, can I get somebody to give us some exercise, just for an icebreaker, as we try to figure out things very fast.
And I am kindly requesting all of us give our phones a break. We see everybody so busy. You can post the lovely photos later. We are supposed to stand up now and do some icebreaker. Please. Make us one. Okay, I am going to select a volunteer. Somebody wants to, okay, democracy. Anybody wants to volunteer or I handpick?
Handpick.
I'm going to handpick. There are some people who have not said anything here since we came. The gentleman with the beard. Please.
Yeah.
Come forward. After that lovely lunch, we are feeling sleepy and bored, so energize us. Maybe you introduce yourself.
Thank you very much. I'm honored and happy to be here. I'm by the name of David Lukamango. Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here. It's my first time to attend that occasion. I'm really grateful. So I've just learned a lot today, and I would always wish to attend that kind of conference. Thank you.
So we produce something to make us wake up.
Oh, okay.
That's who.
Okay. We're going to do some stretch. I'm going to take let's try to up. Then this one. Stand straight. Turn yourself to the right. Then right hand side. Then straight. We will stretch our turn on next. Then turn up. Okay. This way. Let's go back to the next round. I think they're all awake.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, my dear brother, for that wonderful. I felt my neck moving. I said, is that a gun or what? Thank you so much. I want to thank Aisha for being very proactive with my colleague. You know, it's good to have to take that as a backup. This is an evidence of what I should be when I so thank you so much. I really appreciate and so our group members consisted of Moses, John, Noah, Joyce, Sarah, Adam, Joella, and Agustina, who has stepped out because of emergency. So let's proceed. Did I say Sarah? Aisha. Good. The first question was, what are the major achievements of the civil society organization that have been achieved at the national or grassroots level, especially women-led organizations? So in our group, we looked quite a number of points that came in our discussion yesterday. One of the discussion, the things that we came about as an achievement is advocacy of the 25% affirmative action. Of course, we have seen before, we used to have only one woman represented in most of the forums. But now, in all the peace argument, we have seen so far almost 98% of those positions being filled up. But we also say it should not only be 35%. That is what the peace agreement says. But we have the liberty to campaign and to contest the position as women who are learned, who are capable of bringing a change in whatever level you are starting in. So at least we're looking at the 60%. But the government is saying 30%, and the other stakeholders are saying, let's make it what? 60%. And I know we can achieve this. And so far, this has been a great achievement, and it's still improving. Another thing that we also looked at is championing. And championing and campaigning against this whole breaking awareness raising on gender-based violence, all level. At least we know gender issues are still coming, but they're not like before. We have seen at least a minimal reduction, and people being getting awareness of their actions, especially towards young girls, towards women, and so forth. And even why the gender-based violence not only against women, it's also against men. Are we together? So you'll find that some men, because somebody, a man does not come out because they say, okay, at the end of the day, how can you allow a wife to beat me? So most of the men, they keep quiet with those issues. But the most vulnerable at the end of the day are women and girls. Are we together? So if you look at the campaign is all over, and most of the stakeholders are trying to emphasize that at least let's create awareness, let's do more of advocacy on gender-based violence issues, and which has been done across the country. Another issue that we also looked at is the peace agreement. I don't know how that works. The artists materials, that's supposed to be the article, right? The peace agreement. We have also seen that the material has been translated and disseminated in different localities with different languages. Somebody proved it is not right. If they have not reached your place, the stakeholders are trying to do something. But at least we have seen a big achievement being done on that. And I think that's a good step forward. Okay? We also looked at the increased civic engagement on gender-related issues such as gender equality, whereby we have seen men taking ownership of properties, talk of land, talk of houses, talk of businesses, talk of whatever they are supposed to own. We have seen men owning them here. We have also seen men being engaged in most of the issues concerning gender-based violence. And they are raising their voice and saying, no, you, the perpetrators, are brought into books because they have done something wrong. And that's a very good achievement. Another achievement that we also look at is the establishment of an increased pro bono support service towards women. We have seen, for example, we can give you wow, we have seen pro bono service providers coming to support the victims of, say, maybe of rape, legal aid services. We have seen them coming to support the victims. And I think the campaign has been, let's try to enroll it all over the country. I know with access issues to other different states, some people are not yet got, but we have seen the enrollment going through phases. And this is a very good step toward achieving the eradication of gender-based violence. I cannot be eradicated, but at least we can create awareness and advocacy. Another achievement that we also looked at is there is an establishment of a clear reporting pathway of gender-based violence issues. For example, you find when organization is not doing the issue of gender-based violence, you come through maybe a victim. There's always reporting pathways whereby that person can report. And if there are people who don't want to come clearly to report that I am reporting about this, some of them, there's an establishment of a toll-free line that has been established so that you can call free of charge to report any issues related to gender-based violence. And I think the campaign has been going around to make sure that we create awareness of this free toll line for everybody to utilize this opportunity. And if you are in this room today, you have not known about it, there is a toll line, 666, you can always call. They don't charge you money for it. Okay? Just call, report the victim, report the incident, and then the people who are collecting this information will be able to act upon it. Are we together? Authentic that means that everybody is taking the information. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. Then another thing that we looked at is the establishment of GDP courts. For example, okay, where you will find those courts are being used as a means to make sure that justice is being served in that particular community. I think this is a very good thing because in the past you hear a girl has been raped and there's no one to attend to that person and the perpetrator is just moving there, and everyone knows that so and so is the one who did this. But at least now we are trying our best as different stakeholders to make sure that at least these courts are being established to advocate for justice for the victims. Also, for example, like also one of my colleagues said it's also in Wow. Okay? Then another, we also looked at sensitization, strong awareness, dangers of early marriages at all levels. Of course, more especially in the greater mention the states, you will find that young girls are being singled out from schools and they are married off. And then at the end of the day, you'll find that when those girls are married, their dreams are shattered. They just become housewives at the age of 10, 14, 15, 16, without even attaining a minimum, people don't quality, but a minimum education. So we are trying to build awareness so that at least make sure that men should know that no girl should get married at the age, at the underage, which is constitutionally recognized by the government of South Sudan as 18 below altogether. So, but we're not just looking at 18, we are looking at this girl finishing her education and being that confident girl who says, my no is no, my yes is yes, and this is what I want, and not even my parents will be able to force me because they want cows to get married. So this awareness has been created all over the country, and we are still doing more. Still, the issue of access also is there. Then question number 2, what has been the major reasons why there has been a disconnect between the national civil society organization and the grassroots civil society organizations? Now, one of the things that we look at in our group is, the major one is insecurity. You know, when there is peace, you can move at any time of your choice because there is peace. Okay? But you hear there is peace in Juba, you go to went to example, unity said there's no peace. There's a lot of clashes there, people are fighting, people are dying. You know? And so it becomes very difficult for us to connect with the grassroots organizations who are there. You'll find maybe some of them are running for their life. And the work has become, and this has become a big challenge. Okay? When we also talk about insecurity, you'll find some of us who are being threatened. You are unequatorial, you cannot come to our state. Have you ever come across those kind of threats? Yes. I went to people who were 15 and I was put on gunpoint because I was unequatorial. But then when they had good people, they left us. But the Kenyans were left, but the Ugandans were put on reported back home, were dealt with. Of course, because of the incident that was happening there at that particular time. But it tells you that insecurity is. I went to Newfoundland in a place called Fiji. Some of the staff immediately you reach like this, you are threatened, you are intimidated, arrested, and vandalized in another place. It only takes the grace of God for you to come out to the service to the community. So this insecurity is one of the challenges why we're not grassroots. Then communal conflicts, you know that one. Clashes, tribal conflict from here and then has also become one of the reasons why we are not able to connect with the grassroots civil society organizations national. Then limited funding. For you to travel from here to another state, you need money to hire flights. And when you want to do an activity there, you need money to do the activity. Without funding, you cannot be able to fulfill your role as a society organization. And in addition to this, you find that this funding, for example, right now, this particular program we're handling here, it is ending today. What is the sustainability part of this, or the continuity part of this project? So this becomes also a challenge because yes, we are brought people from different states, and we are here, but is that enough? It is still more for us to be done, so that at least we can be able to get to know what is being done from one place to another as a form of connecting and networking. That has also become a challenge. And then we also have information sharing. If for society A, or let's say Equatorial or in Western Victoria, and I don't know about them, it is very difficult for me to share information with them, right? But if I have knowledge about civil society A in this particular area, I will be in position to share information so that they get to know what's happening at the national level. And then they also be able to share with us the emerging issues or challenges or achievements, whatever kind of information we have on the ground with the national level so that we can be able to forge a way forward on how we can be able to help the community. This has also been a very big challenge. Then conflict of interest among CSOs and donors. This one came in the morning, whereby you'll find funding are only being given to people they know. And you'll find the NGO that's really implementing the work authentically on the ground or in the ground. They are not being given funding and they are really suffering. But you'll find this particular national NGO is being given funding in Cuba here, and before you know it, the money has ended in for Kenya. You understand? So it becomes a challenge. Okay? Then at the end of the day, the civil society organizations, the grassroots are crying, all the funding are only being channeled to Juba, they are channeled to Juba and all of that. Why? Because of conflict of interest. Are we together? Then natural disasters, such as climate changes, for example, like floods. Of course, for the last, I think, 3 years, we have been suffering from floods now. People were all being displaced before they all came to Mangala. I personally visited Mangala and collected some food items there. And you can see how people are suffering because of natural disaster. And this also acts as one of the barriers for us to connect with the grassroots civil society organizations. Then political interference by authorities. I've talked about that one. You will go, we now group yesterday we were sharing. You go to implement an activity, you take, for example, like you take the notebooks, and then you find the government saying we need 10% of this notebook. Okay? Or you take books for schools for children on the bags, and then they tell you we need 10%. What are you going to do with the 10%? And yet you are going to come and help one of the people who are helping with your children. So it becomes a challenge. And they'll tell you, if you don't give us this, we will not implement the project. And indeed, you will not implement the project because as civil society organizations, we are there to supplement the work of government, not to take over their work. Are we together? Then lack of trust from beneficiaries due to lack of follow-up by implementing SEOs, that's creating a bigger gap. After you have given money to us, follow up. Make an evaluation of the project. How is the project? What is the impact of the project? Is it positive or negative? Is there something that can be done? Most of the donors, when they get the money from there, the channel after channel is done. They go to another thing. And then it means that if you get from the money has never created any impact, especially the area where it has been put. Okay? Then question number 3, how can we increase civic engagement between the national and grassroots civil society organization? We talked about mapping. Let's map all the grassroots civil society organization and national so that we get to know who is doing what, where, and when. You get the point? So at the end of the day, if the donor said, okay, we are having money for women livelihood, we look at this area, then who is doing that? Let's go and support that national civil society organization, the grassroots. That is how we build of those national NGOs. Then prioritizing networking. Let's prioritize them. That it is a must. If we are to increase engagement, it is a must that we should know, we should mark them out. Then equal resource allocation for project group funding. At least if there is 100,000 for a project, let 50,000 be given to Juba, and then 50,000 be given to another state. Even if it is one state, it shows there is equal distribution of resources. Right now, if I tell you, most of the NGOs, most of the money are just nickling or cycling within Juba here. And just a minimum of them goes to different states. So there should be equal distribution of resources as a form of building the civil society organization with national. Then we also looked at designing a clear proper project plan that includes follow-up plans and post-project implementation. I think that one speaks of itself. Then the other one is engaging information sharing. We talked about it there. Engage this partner, engage this civil society organization. If you have done those things, share with them, guys from this state, what can you put here? They really feel like they are valued. You understand? They feel like, yes, at least there are people who think about us if they are asking for input. You know? This also makes you, in case you are going to that particular state to implement a project, you will be speaking their language because you know the challenges and the problem that is this particular state is facing. Then we should also have an exchange visit. For example, now we have that is brought to Juba for this particular program. Maybe next time we can organize also Juba team to go to another state. I mean, this will be a very good way of motivating these people, you know, than us bringing them to Juba, and let's also go and enjoy the bad hotels they are having in the field there. Okay? I've been notified by that is up. Then let's have. Can I have two more?
Finish.
Okay. Then reactivate the dormant CSO networking umbrellas. Those CSO who are dormant, like you already have different network, for especially in different states, they are dormant. Let's use this forum as a form of reactivating them. Do training, show them what they need to do, and bring them on board. This is the best way we can use as a form of engaging them. Then establish and plan for annual conferences in all levels that can be done virtually. This could also have the big quarterly, we can have the quarterly meeting. And this can help us to get to know what are the issues in different states. And then we bring in different stakeholders. When we bring different stakeholders, now we tell them, okay, these are the issues, these are the issues. Instead of saying the committee, these are the people in this conference. Are we together? So the donor will get personal information, not just second-hand from you, who is the mediator. Are we together? Can we proceed to question number 4? Question number 4, how can we strengthen cooperation between the grassroots and national civil society organizations in order to advance gender equality and promote peace for existence in South Sudan, especially? We talked about frequent updates and analysis for humanitarian issues. What are the issues? You should update. For example, we have humanitarian organization WhatsApp group. If we hear there is a problem in this particular state, and this particular, we know who are the organizations working, for example, in Turin. For example, like the Medical organization in Turin, and she's not doing GDP there, and there is a place, we come into our forum and say, hey, there's a problem here. Who is implementing GDP in this place? And then immediately someone so and so is doing this, and then we channel the case to this person, and then handled by updating. So it's very important we do humanitarian situation analysis. Then national NGOs committee the presentation of the grassroots. We should commit ourselves to represent these people. Don't come and represent your personal interest. For example, like me, Adam, I speak on Nigeria. No, I am a servant. I need to talk on behalf of the community, because at the end of the day, the reason why I exist as a humanitarian worker is the people I'm serving. So we should commit ourselves to representation of the grassroots people. When you go there, treat them like they're also the Juba people. Can we proceed to question number 5? I think this is also our last question, and it is segmented into 3 parts. And Aisha, can we go to question number 5?
Last slide.
Good. So question number 5. The first question says, can you develop a strategy and action plan for how the grassroots and national civil society organizations can work together? One of them we talked about, all of them, and create an active database. This is very important because we lack database. Now, for example, South Sudan will be now going to the database. Are we together? But if there is no more funding, the project is going to crumble. They have a good database. Are we together? So we say for us, in order for us to network, we create a good We'll do mapping and create analytic database. Number two, advocacy and objective. Keep advocating. In the morning, somebody was saying we're not getting funding, but I'm saying even if you're not got funding, keep doing the good work. Money will always locate you. I said this one in the morning. So let's keep advocating for the community that we serve. It doesn't matter if your good work will always follow you. If you are doing a good job, people are going to notice that you are doing a good job. And that's how one of the ways that we can be able to work together. Then number three is sharing of resources equally. We should share resources. We talked about 50-50%. If you have an activity, they are all for Juba. At least go and tell the donor, please, this activity cannot only be done in Juba. What about the people in another state? At least find a state that is as a challenge according to the project and communicate to the donor and see if they cannot support you because you have a good interest. And let the resources be allocated equally. Then, symposium of engaging all stakeholders. Create a symposium whereby we have stakeholders, we have the government, we have the NGOs, we have the lawyers, we have the government ministries, we have the civil society NGOs, we have the women groups, and then all of us come. And then say, okay, now, this is the issue. How can we come about it? This will foster a very good spirit of working together. Then, question number B, part of 5. How will you organize with other international organizations, donor and key sectors, and Ministry of Gender, Child, and Social Welfare to ensure the gender equality is being realized? Is that the second question? Who are likely going to be the actors? That was the B part. Now we looked at donors such as donors like UNPA, we looked at UNCI, USAID, and so many. The list was long, just cut it short. And then we also looked at ministries such as Finance, Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Gender, Ministry of Gender, Child and Social Welfare, Youth and Sport, Health, Justice, Peace Building. All these ministries are connected to women. Okay? Maybe, but then if you have a question about the ministries, I might be able to respond. And then we also looked at civil society organizations such as SEPO, Swiss, Youth and Women-led organization, among others. These are different stakeholders. Then the last question, that how will you coordinate with the international donor and all the stakeholders involved to realize gender equality in South Sudan? We said when you create a platform, that's really one way of sharing information, coordinating, communicating whatever arising issue, or in case of any challenge or achievement, you'll always use the platform. Number two, we also say engage in dialogue where issues of security and gender are discussed. For example, like you have two tribes in one community, they are disagreeing about something. Do a community dialogue so that at least these two people can be join together as one to make sure that they live in harmony. So that we, as civil society organization, can also implement our project well in that particular area. Then the last one, we say accountability reports on gender-related issues is very important for us to work together. We must always give those accountability reports. This is from us, Group 2, known as the Confidence Group. Thank you so much for listening. I will take any questions if you have questions. If I miss something, I'll invite my team to add something. I hope I did not bore you. The information was so intense, of course, that is it. These women are very beautiful. That's why I put that picture there. Yeah. So any questions for me before I sit down, maybe?
We'll ask questions as we go. Anybody?
Thank you very much. It is a wonderful presentation, I must say that. However, the I tend to seek clarification on how to tend to do, you know, the linkages of the work of coordinating efforts with other stakeholders, both national and at the local, in terms of, when you are having some challenges and you need to effectively, organize yourself and be strategize. How do you do that? That's number one. Number two, in terms of programming, you know, the, the activities at the grassroots level. Do you take responsibility at the national level, or you give priority to the local civil society? You support your own programming so that now you help only in terms of implementation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Great presentation. Mine is not a question, but I just want to clarify the hotline, the free hotline. Yeah, we have 623 and then 662. Yeah. Not six.
Okay, 666. That one came out yesterday. Actually, I even have the picture on my phone, but I go to cross check yesterday, but it came in our discussion yesterday. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Salam.
Let's have that one and then you respond.
It's okay. Yeah, that's good.
I'd like to welcome Mr. Aaron Shapiro into our group. He is advisor, media and civil society of Kenya. Welcome, Mr. Aaron, into the second part of our presentation. Like,
Thank you very much, Kelly and the group, for the wonderful presentation. I have some clarification. I don't know if you can give more questions on the achievement. We spoke about being in Yambio and Dengu, because the information I have one day will be calling, and yeah, that's important. Unless if you're just about mobile, but not really, because we don't have everything now. Thank you. Because another one is the hotline. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think I'll start with your own question. Remember, this is a discussion, and a discussion, group discussion, it can be perfect, it can be perfect. Yeah? And the Bible says that lack of knowledge will perish. So at the end of the day, this is, I'm glad that the person was talking about mobile phones yesterday, but unfortunately, I think my secretary was having a hard time. And then when I was starting the presentation, I was having disorganized because the presentation I was not being captured there. Because I was like, okay, I'm the right side. But we're talking about the mobile phone, which is a very good step towards achieving justice for the victims. And then I will also say this is one of the things that we should be advocating to donors. At least we have three, like we have a warehouse, we have in Wow and in Torino. I think this could be a good step. And we could also have those courts in different places. At least not within the country, all but at least those regional places where we can be able to bring the papers from other places, that place. Okay? Then linkages of practice. I think, my brother, you are asking very good questions. Linkages is something very important. It keeps all of us intact as partners who have a common goal to achieve. But however, it's not we all work differently. When you talk about linkages, you talk about resources. How can should the program be done in Cuba or in the field? Now, it depends on the organization. If you because I'm a program manager, I know what it means by programs. Sometimes you'll find activities specifically being outlined for Cuba. You cannot have activity to learn, for example, let's say inventing without a concept. The donor knows this activity has to be done in Cuba. And it can only be done in Cuba. The target beneficiaries are in Cuba, not in Bentiu. So if you feel strongly that this activity cannot be done in Cuba, the right beneficiaries are in this particular state, you have to engage the donor that gives the money and give them justification why you feel this program should be done in that particular area. And of course, if you have a good justification, the donor will give the go ahead. Okay? So I think that is one. Maybe it could also be in terms of creating offices so that to empower the civil society organization where we can have maybe the office where those organizations who have talent can come and access maybe internet and a lot of things. That's how we can create linkages with those ones source of quality. For example, I can give you in Fiji or Foods Canal. We used to have IO as the only organization that used to have internet. And they used to give access to all the partners. You know, so that is one way of knowing that this particular partner is working in this area, and they are reporting and they are doing activity. Okay, so I think basically that's what we can do. And then somebody talked about the programs, priorities. Again, it goes back to programming. What is your priority? When you are writing a proposal, who are you targeting? What is the challenge? And that is your priority. Because you cannot just say, okay, I am telling the drunk people, is that a priority? And yet you have students who are speaking on the streets. And you have people who are being displaced in Bentiu, and you have people with flats. So you look at the priority. Don't think the donor that you're sending the proposal to is aware of the issues within the country. They are searching on the internet every day. They are reading different reports. So when you either know, you do not yes, so it's time for money to support them. That is what I think in terms of priorities. I hope I have answered your question. Any more questions? Silent means not satisfied and
Just very clear on the TPP in court. Yeah, yes, something. I heard my sister talk about the community in Cuba, which is 100% correct. It's not only in Cuba, but it's also British tell you that the National Institute of Child and Social Welfare, with the help of other partners, USAID, they are currently working on a plan to extend this service to the entire state. But the trade administration area is still, it's still in plan, but the entire state is a kind of process. I just wanted to share something. Thank you.
And I want to thank all of you people at this platform. So you are one against. Congratulations.
Yeah, I just wanted to comment about this issue of placing a date on the funding. Point of interest is what you were explaining before. And the process for getting, for example, you can put an emergency, maybe flooding or something in a certain location, and there is the need to have some funds to rescue the situation. But the process for developing the proposal and following up and all that, by the time the funds get here, the situation could have changed, and now it has shifted. Maybe it was before, now it's doing it. So when the funds come with a need, then it makes a difference. That one has stopped. There is a new one, but then you can't use the funding on this side. So there is need to advocate more for flexibility with the funding. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you very much.
I think that is it. Funding changes. Previously, for example, like UNICEF used to do emergencies. Now it is shifting. They used to do temporary school structures. But now they are also trying to advocate for permanent structures, which is, of course, as you know, as you push the permanent structures, it becomes, everyone runs away, and the structure remains like that. But the good thing is, it remains where it is not being tampered with. And when the peace comes back, people go back. So I want to beg to end here.
Let me just, yes, let me just make an additional comment with regards to what you said about mapping of civil society organizations. Last year, I conducted a similar activity for another organization, but this time we were mapping women-led organizations. And as a result of that, that's why we kept talking of there is a WhatsApp group for women-led organizations, because as a result of that activity that I conducted. And because of that, now this specific organization is using the data that I collected to identify stakeholders at the grassroots. Like now they're saying, okay, we want to go and implement this in Torit. They already know that ITWAC is on ground actually. So they communicate to ITWAC and they're doing that. So I would also encourage, because RC is responsible for registration of organizations, but they do not know how many organizations are in the country, in which locations they're operating from. So it would be very important for civil society actually to take that initiative and try to map out where they are so that they are able to work better with each other. Thank you.
One thing I want to say that the donor trusts when you guys work on social. Okay? When you go because you're very good, you want to show that the donor that I can implement 200,050 alone. Of course, you can give the money, but there is that doubt if this person can do that. But when you come in a consortium of 3 of you in that particular organization, I mean, the weight of you being considered is almost at 70 or 90%. So that is one way how we can also be able to collaborate as civil society organization. So I want to encourage you, wherever you are, learn to collaborate with your fellow organization. It is not a competition, it is a service that you're giving to the community. I thank you so much, and I wish you all the best.
Now, you have lived up to your name, Mr. Confident. You have kept us awake. So thank you. That was a great presentation. Can we give the whole team a round of applause? I will try to summarize in Arabic for some of the people who do not understand. احنا قاعدين نتكلم ده جروب بتاع ناس الثقه دي او اسم هم دول نفسهم هم قالوا احنا عندنا ثقه وفعلا هم قدموا كلامهم بالثقه الكامله. الانجازات في بعض الحاجات انا ما حرجعهم، انا هتكلم بس في حاجات ما فيش كويس. في النمره لما يكون في اي انتحار في النمره ممكن يتضرب اللي هو 6 2 3 6 2 2. لو في
6 6 2
6 6
2
6 6 2 يعني 3 6 هناك 3 ديجيتس بس مش كده؟ اوكي 6 6 2 يا هو رقم انت ممكن تضربه في تليفونك ما بياخذ منك الدقائق بتاعك. لو في اي مثلا قضيه بتاعت الاغتصاب ولا حاجه زي ده واحد. السؤال الثاني ده نفس الكلام لكن في حاجه جديد هو ضافه اللي هو السبب اللي بيخلي مثلا الانجازات ما تنجح. مثلا الفيضانات اللي حصلت في جنبولين ده واحد من الحاجات اللي بتخلي الاهداف ما تنجح. سؤال نمرة 3 هو بيقول المفروض احنا نعرف الحتات الاماكن اللي احنا المفروض نوزع يكون في توزيع بتاعت الايكوال ريسورسز ده واحد من الحاجات اللي هو قالوا، والمفروض يكون في برضه تعاون بين المنظمات المدنيه. الكلام الثاني اللي قالوا الناس النايمين اصحوا من النوم. المنظمات النايمه في منظمات كثير نايمه فاحنا بنحتاج انه يكونوا نشيطين كويس. نمرة 4 السؤال الأربعة 3 تقريبا قريبين مع بعض لكن المفروض كل وقت يكون في تجديد. انت لو عندك منظمه بتاعك وانت ما نايم انت بتوري الناس انت عملت شنو كده. يكون في تواصل برضه بين الناس. نمرة 5 ردد نفس الكلام لكن يكون في معلومات مكتوبة وقاعدة ويكون في مثلا مكان الناس تجي فيه يكون في حوار. الحوار الليلة عرفنا حاجات كثير. عرفنا مثلا انه في يامبيو ما عندهم محكمة لجندر بيس فايلنس صح؟ عرفنا برضه الليلة عن الرغم. يعني لما نحن نقعد مع بعض المعلومات بتتسرب واحنا دايرين لكم من الكونفرنس اللي احنا جينا فيه لما انتوا ترجعوا للاماكن بتاعكم ناس جايين من فوق امشوا ورونا انه يا جماعه بنات القاعدين يسرقوا ده دي حاجه غلط. بنات القاعدين يسرقوا ده غلط. في محكمه في محامين قاعدين يساعدوا كويس. وكمان لما انت تكون عندك منظمه انت ارجع خلي الناس يسوقوا فوقك خلي الشغل بتاعك يكون معروف. ارجع للناس كلام المفروض هم يعرفوا عن المنظمه بتاعتهم. ما تشتغل براك نشتغل كلنا لانه الهدف بتاعنا واحد اللي هو شنو؟ انه احنا نرفع بعض ونكونوا متوحدين. ماما ماري انت فيه؟ ومعنا طيب we will call group 5 to come and present. That is our last group. Are you ready? All right. Which is the confidence? Ella la Mama General.
General.
The General is in the house. Mama General is here to do her presentation. Okay, so you better wake up and listen to her. All right. Mama Zahra, you're welcome.
Before I start presenting what we have, I can't get it. No, I order you to stand. You are now. Now we are going to, since you have sat, you have heard what Mr. Confidence has said, and towards in the afternoon after eating, nas bukun naksanin ma bukun kubala fi kalam al bukun. So, Anna begesi mfusuda alitnin on my right and on my left. What do you like? What do you like? Fruits. You want to dance? And you?
You like to sing?
You like to sing? Oh, I want you to do something different. Okay, now if you like singing, I will divide you into three. This group, one, then in the middle, two, then the extreme left, three. We have just extended the road, extended the R-axis, and we have the roadmap that will lead us to finalize our transitional period that will lead us to have a legitimate government after 2024. Now, I wanted to ask this house, to whom does the roadmap belong to? Does it belong to us, or does it belong to Artigonu or to Treka? To who? To whom? Us. Good. Now, if it belongs to us, you on my right will start saying, do, okay? Yes. Then, you in the middle will say, to whom does it belong to? To whom does it belong to? Then you in my left will say, to me, to me, to me. It is participatory, yeah? Yes. Here we go. To whom does it belong to? To whom does it belong to? To whom does it belong to? To me, to me, to me, to me, to me, confidence right away. Always be happy and be creative. Okay? Aisha, can you put the slides up, please? Yeah. These are the questions. I don't want to run through the questions because they are all similar. It becomes boring and monotonous. Eyes, I'll borrow eyes. I'll borrow eyes. I'll borrow from here. I'll borrow from here. Yeah.
Aisha, could you magnify the answers, please, the presentation?
Now, we said in the first question, we said increased women.
Let us put it on slideshow.
On
the computer, slideshow.
Aisha, can you put it on slideshow? Aisha, slideshow.
Can you magnify it, please?
Magnify, please, for me.
Maybe 200?
I cannot borrow someone's eyes. They are saying I'm too stubborn, let me suffer.
Computer take when?
Mine, computer.
Who has the computer with the presentation? Who has the presentation on the computer?
Okay, I'll try. Increased women participation beyond 25%. These are some of the achievements. Some states achieved 35%, some states did not achieve. The national government, the national ruling party did not achieve. But
Yeah, within.
Yes. As I said, increased women participation beyond 25%. Our target is 35%, which is according to the R-axis. We put here 25% as there are some states which has 21, 22, 23, 25. They did not reach the markable 35%. So we still have a long way to go. It will not come from me on you. It needs a collective responsibility, and the noises we are making, we continue making the noise. Then women actively involved in peace implementation process. We had women as observers who were given observer status in Addis Ababa. We had women sitting round table with Troika and whoever talking about peace of South Sudan. We have women, the majority of us here are women. We have women all over who are advocating for the peace. We have women who went to the to the United Nations General Assembly to speak about the peace of South Sudan and why they want it to be how they want it to be women led process. They want it to be gender sensitive, and all the implementation should be in equal participation. Women taking up position traditionally reserved for only males, e.g. paramount chiefs. Before we had women, we had no women. Only two women. One was in Bentiu and one was in Eastern Equatoria. Only two women paramount chiefs. But now we have several women, 17 I think, paramount chiefs, which is a great plus to us. If you don't make use of your mouth, then you will not eat ash. So we beat the drums. Then we had advocacy on reduction of early pregnancy and early child marriage. Some states we have reduction. Like for example, we have in Lake State the governor, they passed a bill against early child marriage. Your child is married at an early stage, you go to jail. So we are hoping other states should adapt. And we have increase of girls going to school in Lake State. Then we have high enrollment numbers of girls in schools. Before we didn't have that number. We have girls, high enrollment in lower classes. When they reach certain classes, they drop down. They don't reach primary 6, 7, they drop. But now it has increased. This is due to advocacy and taking the girls out to the other world to see how women and girls are performing. We are just not confined in the cattle camps, but we want also to go out like other girls. What has been done is that these girls have exchange programs. They identify their role models, and then the role models come and talk to them in school. That's how that achievement came. And then we have also achieved in training women in life skills. You cannot depend on gardening and doing the farming alone because of the natural disaster that coming, Bentiu, Malakal, and some other parts of South Sudan. The weather, the climate change. So the life skills that women have been trained in sewing, beads making, what helps women. That is an empowerment for women that also reduces the GBV in the homes. Then women organizations fight for women rights locally. Like you had also some women from Jongle, Abia, when they are asking for their women's, that the women are not given chances. Why Juba only? They also want the empowerment to go to the grassroots. And this is what we are doing. South Sudanese Women Intellectual Forum, this is the recommendation they got, and that's why we have women from the grassroots here. Then women coming together and form small SMEs. Small what?
Small and medium enterprise.
The enterprises, we had Mama Yar here, Madam Yar, and Book. They were here. They started small. We admire them, but now they are big entrepreneurs. They move all over the world, slowly by slowly. In this, don't fear, women don't fear. Our Axis has provided women enterprise fund of 100 million. Youth, you have the same. Don't sit down. That mama from Jongole said that things that come for women, men go through, and they grab it. This time, we have opened our eyes. The art axis is sitting on our constitution, like our constitution. If the constitution is not ready, we use the art axis as the constitution. It is a law on itself. And it has a provision that the government should provide the $100 for women enterprise fund. So women wake up. Next slide, please. Number 2, what are the challenges that we are having? So many challenges were said, but ours is unique. Shrinking civic spaces. Like now, if we want to conduct we are conducting this, we have to go to national security and get clearance. If I don't get clearance, I will not conduct this. And when you go, you have to part. And the donor does not want to see that one. For what? It is your country. You are paying somebody to protect you. Why are you paying that person? So there's shrinking civic space. You cannot express. We have no freedom of expression. Some civil society colleagues tried to explain something, but they were, and they disappeared. They went to take cover underground. So that is it. I don't want to elaborate further. Limited resources, as most of the groups say, the limited resources has changed due to what we are undergoing now, not like before. Unless we change, you have a paramount piece, then more resources will come. And the resources will come when we also have to look for other avenues. We think outside the box. We look at other stakeholders. We look at big companies, not just donors only. We look at embassies, anybody, all those money, even the mayor, even Juba County. Juba County has a lot of money. The revenue they are collecting. You can also come out with the program and run to them. Then we focus on peace building, not whereas neglecting other areas of concern. Peace building is paramount, but we have DBV, we have floods, we have sanitation, we have education, we have to eat, we have to become sick, we have to get medicine. So when we focus on peace building, don't neglect the other. They intermingle. You have to be healthy to do your activity. You have to do this in order for you to do this. You cannot do one and leave one. So you have to look at how you play along with it. Then there's high competition and greediness for funding. I repeat it, high competition and greediness for funding. How we mean by greediness is that there are some organizations, they are not stable in doing one activity. What is there, they will break their legs. That is greediness. When I'm doing this, and there's another organization doing that, why can't I just do this and introduce that organization for that organization to do the other one? Are we moving? Don't be selfish, don't be greedy. You are known by the donor, but also help. Give capacity to the other small organizations. Don't just look at yourself, Gary, and I can do this. You boss, yes, I have this, I do this. No, you give others. Concentrate on one. If it is governance, governance. If it is wash, wash. If it is agriculture, agriculture. Don't today agriculture. Tomorrow you start going to the river, you start doing fishing. No. The fishing lead to the people at the riverside. Not everything for you alone. Then the other challenge is corruption, fraud, and kickbacks. In order for you to get funding, you have to part with something, 10%. I don't know. Most organizations in our group, you will see them later. When they want funding, they get funding. Whoever concerned asks you, scratch my back, I scratch your back. Put your hand in your pocket, I put food on your table. So, in this way, are we going to move? If 10% goes back to hyenas, morphoin, if 10% go back to them, how do you think the implementation of the project will be successful? That's how corruption comes in, fraud comes in. You use what you have to make sure that the project is implemented while there's some 10% that has gone somewhere. Madam Aisha, next slide, please. So these are the challenges. What are we going to do? We strengthen cooperation and networking. Here, I think that the exercise we did in the morning, knowing 5 people, that is part of networking. When you hear there is something, you call your sister. She's doing DBB, she's doing hairdressing, she's doing business. You call, merge together, and we give capacity to one another. realigning the agendas, roles, and focus of CSOs. Some CSOs have lost focus, as I had explained earlier. They jump, they have no clear focus. They see this, they grab. Because they have good writing skills of writing project proposals. That's how they win proposal. But they have lost focus. So let us go back to the focus and see why you formed the organization because of 1, 2, 3. Go to it. The national CSOs and grassroots CSOs starting to see each other as equal stakeholders, as partners. While we try to integrate and work together today, we see one as one organization and one as partners. Let us form networks in thematic areas. If we are doing GBV, let us all join GBV group or GBV cluster. In case there's any call for proposal, the GBV clusters can know will know where the funding will go and where the area they will work in. If it is governance section, they will know which area they are working in. Is it civic election? Is it peace building? Is it rule of law? Is it human rights? So don't do this, don't jump. So we need to form those thematic areas and see how best we can help one another. You pull me up, once I get up, the same ladder, I will hold it up there for you to climb. Not that when I get up, I take the ladder with me. That is not empowerment. Then RRC to identify the database of CSOs in order to monitor activities and avoid overlapping activities. Most Mr. Confidence says about RRC database, they have to. They are there, Gali, you have registered, you bring this money, you renew, but they don't follow up. Many organizations, we have over 1,000 local organizations, but what is the impact? Since me tell, there's high literacy rate, Yalgimut by malaria, we have this, we have this. Women are still GBVs on the high risk. RRC has to come in and help. They have to improve their database. You are working where? What is your thematic area? Where is your strategic plan? Who are your beneficiaries? They have to coordinate, both national and the state. I know there are RRCs in the state, but I don't know the level of coordination they are doing. So this needs to be enhanced. Then grassroots CSOs and national CSOs partnering in implementing projects and activities. There is a challenge here. The grass sometimes I have experience. We are a network, big network, and we have in all the 10 states we have member organizations. When a partner goes there, they will think that some partners have confidence in networks, as Mr. Confidence has said. But when you go, you will find her, she will say, my organization is this and this. And then the partner will think twice. But if you say, but some partners wanted to know if you are in a consortium so that they entrust you with their money. You say, I'm working in this organization, my field is this, but I'm a member of this consortium or a member of this network. That will create trust. Whenever you run, they'll come back to that network and they'll get hold of you. So let us look at building confidence and building networking. Then continuously engaging in activities that bring them together, such as workshops and conferences. How we engage ourselves. We engage by bringing them. Exchange visits from state to state. This year we are in Juba. Next year we go to another state, even to administrative areas, to show the people of administrative areas that, or those states, that also people can come to a state and hold big conferences. I've touched that one. Engage visits between grassroots CSOs and national CSOs on common agenda and common activities like campaigns, peace building, DBB, what advocacy. We all come together because we have one issue touching us. Next slide, please. Action plan and strategy. We have dissemination of gender policy, national action plan. This is our strategy. Then who is the main actor? We have Ministry of Gender, Child and Social Welfare. Then we have strengthening coordination between grassroots CSOs and national CSOs. So our main actor is South Sudan Women Interaction Forum plus others. We have put them as our lead organization to coordinate this activity. Bringing monitoring and evaluation, we need to monitor and evaluate before the project, midterm, and the end of the project, so that we see before the project ends where have we gone wrong, so that we rectify before the end of the project, so that when you give them your last report, they don't say no, you did not achieve this, and all is good. So midterm report evaluation is very important, so that you can rectify, something can be done in the last minute, so that you don't lose that funding. Then bring donors and CSOs together to develop a modality of aligning their roles going forward. That is the same organization having to acquire a database of CSOs and their projects and availing such information to donors and other interested parties. That is RRC, and definitely we will not let RRC work alone. RRC need to work with all the national NGOs. Last slide. Any question? Any question? Before you clap, a general in the battlefield cannot win the war without the troops. I can't request my troops to stand up. The troop I have, you are blessed to have one young ranger. You clap for our young ranger. And what I want to say, yeah, before I sit down, about civic engagement. In the past, we had civic engagement centers in Wow, Cuba, Yankee, and Awil. We are all, which was supported by USAID. We had, in the civic engagement centers where we cannot have a place civil society organizations go and visit the public there. Sometimes they provide others to go. They have and it's a place of meeting. When they have open documents, they want they are given a limited number of documents. I don't know. Mr. Aaron is here. Mr. Aaron is here. Maybe he can help us. First, I need they have to have the clearance from USA, and then they will tell us if it is possible to have those centers back so that we can meet and get information. Some of us we don't get it. We used to go to those centers, but now the national NGOs that are working there in some centers don't give access to grassroots organizations to get to print their document, or even these artists. We used to go and get it in the those centers, civic engagement centers, and the roadmap that has come has not their grassroots. I don't know what SSWI and the partner in this egg is going to go about. You clap for me. And this one? Okay. Sure.
Out of the action that we are achievement of the women, there is one achievement with the South Sudanese women. Was it in 2014? We have the South Sudan women agenda with 7 points, and one of it all of them, the second have entered into hard access to solutions, like the institutional reform. This was from the women. That's why we have to remember this women what we have done. And then the second thing, I'm going to the relationship of RRC in the state. Like in Eastern Equatoria, the RRC go to the revenue. Those the personal tax income they are collecting. So they know who are active and those who are dormant. Yes, exactly. So we have also the list, and now you go to other state, they will tell you we have this, and we have our program, and this is how the Arab state Eastern Equatoria works. And then, like in Eastern Equatoria, we have Eastern Equatoria Women Organization Network, in which I'm the chairperson. So we know ourselves. And then if the group of people, of course, when they get funded, they went there. If they don't meet us, it's also not hard to see them slowly. And sometimes we welcome them, we sit and we tell them that you have to have an office, you are mostly welcome because she is going there already to give services to the people. But just to follow the channel for her for his success with the donor.
Thank you, Mama Adapitia. We'll give somebody who has not spoken a chance. So you can give her the mic, please.
وإذا البشر أقرأ وأنا بديكم سلامي لكم يا جماعة. اليوم يوم كبير، يوم كبير. ليه؟ لأن نحن نطلب السلام في هذا القاع. الفئات الثلاثة موجودة في القاع: الشباب، المرأة، في رجال كمان هو هنا. ليه؟ لأن نحن عايزين نكمل معانا عشان نكون حش كبير في جنوب السودان، عشان نجيب سلام في الجنوب بتاعنا. أنا داير أقول لكم هذا وسيلة الملكات، ومن وأنا بسأل سؤال the Women International Fund. ففي الملكات يعني كانت حاجة عجيبة، والوضع ده ما كان موجود في الملكات. في الشهر ده الحاجة اللي حصل مشكلة في تونجا، ومن تونجا اتنقل للقناة، من قناة اتنقل في أدريان، وده كله نقل موجودة هنا، يعني كله اتنقل وين؟ في الملكات. ما في ناس فضلوا في اتجاه القلب، والسبب كان شنو؟ السبب كان الأفكار، وكلام ما كان في ملكات موجود هنا في سرد الأفكار، وده خلى الجروب ده كله متأثر مرة واحدة. أما نقول الجرأة كمان الناس يقولوا بتنزل في دولة في الوين وفي شنو. ده واحد من سلاطين المجتمع هم شكلوا الناس عشان الناس ما يقوموا ما يعملوا مشاكل. فأنت دي الزول ده يقرأ والزول ده شنو؟ ما اللي ده اللي يقولوا كا ناس راحين البيت جابوا في السنة بيقولوا ده لو أنا ده بيقولوا ده ما بنراح يقولوا اللي الناس دايما بيقولوا كل ما يحصل حاجة الخوف بيجي والناس بيقولوا وده دور بتاعكم ده عشان انتوا تشتغلوا في هذا المكان. بيجي تاني عمل شنو؟ مرضوا قال الليلة شنو بيجي بكم وناس حركوا وناس، لكن الحاجة عملوها مسموعة مع السلاطين مع المجتمع المدني حاجة عجيبة. ناس دول كلهم قعدوا اجتمعوا الليلة كلهم هم شاركوا عشان يعملوا تغطية ما يحصل حاجة. أما الوضع أصبح يعني الحالة رجع في مكانها، أن الناس كلهم قاموا ماسكوا مع بعض عشان ما يدخل شنو الخراب
عشان الناس ما يحصل الموت، وده حاجة مهمة. أما السلام اللي احنا بنتكلم فوق ده، السلام ده صعب، يعني السلام ما بيجي كده، بيجي بالتدريج تدريج. إذا ما عملنا ما تواصلنا مع بعض كلنا مع بعض، نحن السلام ما بيجي في جنوب السودان. فنحن زي ما قلت المرة كامل بهذا المؤتمر، ده مؤتمر كبير. الشباب هيمشي يقعد مع الشباب، المرأة هيمشي يقعد مع المرأة، عشان هم ينقذوا بعضهم بالحياة الجاية. كمان ما ننسوا النسوان في الخارج كمان، لازم يكون في نقاط من ناس الخارجيين في جنوب في خارج السودان يكونوا متماسكين مع النسوان في جنوب السودان عشان نقدر الحرب بتاعه. نمرة اثنين، أنا بشكر المرأة بتأسيسه ما الأسس بتاعه 2000 وكم، ونحن يا كانوا هسه أول مرة عشان نحن نجي نحضر هذا الوركشوب العشر يوم، وده مبروك لكم عشان نحن ماشيين نتكلم مع بعض. نحن عشان نحن نبدأ الشغل من قريب للمستوى بتاع الومن انترناشونال فورم، لازم هم ينظروا للولايات، والولايات هم ينظروا في المقاطعات. زينا في ملكات لنا 4 مقاطعات، والمقاطعات اللي احنا بنمارسها مع بعض، هسه اللي احنا متماسكين مع بعض مع مقاطعات 4 كده، عشان المقاطعات 4 دي يكونوا هم عارفين الحاصل شنو. لازم يكون مثلا هنا يكون عنده متابعة مع كل ولاية، يكون عنده متابعة مع كل ولاية. ليه؟ لأن لو ما وصلنا للسلام ما حيكون في نتيجة إن إحنا لمستقبل الأولاد بتاعنا، وما حيكون في تنمية في الجنوب بتاعنا. نحن بنكونوا قلقانين ونحن بنكونوا خايفين. فعشان كده الحشة الموجودة جوا ده كده نتواصل مع بعض، منظمات الحكومة المرأة كده نتواصل مع بعض عشان نحن نسير الكارثة ده. ونشيل الكارثة ده هيكون في تنمية البلد بتاعنا، هنكون عندنا حياة جديدة مع بعض. يا مرة إذا أنت كنت بهذا خليك أنت متواصل، خليك أنت مع مرة في السلاطين، خليك أنت مع مرة في كنائس، خليك أنت مرة في حكومة عشان نحن نمشي كلامنا.
شكرا جزيلا.
الحاجة اللي عملناها كمان كبيرة موضوع النساء في الثروات. قلنا المشاكل اللي بتواجهها بيجي للنسوان، النسوان هم اللي بيتعبوا. عشان كده نحن قلنا نحن عايزين نعمل مؤتمر إخواني كل الفئات الموجودة في ملكات المنظمات والسلاطين والكنائس، وهذا ده هنقوم في إبادة عشان نشوف الاشياء حصلت واحنا يرجع مع بعض والطوارئ يرجع مع بعض بناسبه يكون في عشان كده نحن ناخذ شنو؟ تعليم. ما تعليم لا نحن النسوان نحن ضعيفين في التعليم، نحن ضعيفين في التعليم. يعني لو كده عملنا الانتخابات ونحن ما نزلنا مديريات ما في مره بيطلع فوق.
شكرا ماما. كلمات القديم هنحطه في الاعتبار، وهيكون من الحاجات اللي احنا هنعملها. شكرا لك.
Well, in the first place, I would like to recognize the presence of our great mothers. I'm so glad and happy I'm Roslyn and Eva. Really, it's my first time to attend such kind of conference. Powerful, it's helping me a lot. I want to talk on behalf of us in South Sudan at large. Really, I don't know what our mothers, these great mothers are seeing in front of us.
to encourage us a lot. Like the schools have to do some conference, teach girls how to protect themselves, and also encourage them to continue with their studies. Okay, I have a lot of orphans friends, how they suffer, so they need some encouragement. And I'm happy today I've got a lot of things, and I know we're gonna make it future.
انه هي مبسوطه تكون معانا هنا، اتعلمت حاجات كتير، وبرضه في نفس الوقت دايرين ان احنا نمشي في المدارس عشان نتكلم. البنات يحملوا كيف؟ لانه لو انتم لاحظتوا بنات بعرسوا بيحملوا ويخشوا في مشاكل كتير. ماما ميري تفضل.
Wala goye. Wala goye. Wala goye. Ay. Hata leo nataka kaja pale ile ratiba kwa yeye. Ya hata kweli. Ndio kanimo. Yani leo ndio Ingereza kwa hata leo kwa pale kwa kile anaruka. Wala goye. Wala goye. Ay, ano kung ang buo kan pagkare, bago sana nila kasi yabote. O nagkasala na tayo. Asa lagi ba ito ba? Ang baro na. Ika. Ani na ate. Ani na galing ke. Ani na galing ke. Ani na mabuto bahar na. Dahil asa lagi kalam ko na nagkakagot mo ato. Ani na ta kuya ani na galing ke. Mana betul, bukan itu mana. Anda berada di mana? Kali ini. Dia kata dia kali dia. Mama bagus. Mama bagus. Kalau nak kali. Kamu sana pergi lagi hari ini. Mana kali? Nasa, mudah bagus. Tapi dia baru bagus. Ya, dah bagus. Pun itu. Jangan bukan kalam di sana. Aku cuma, aku mana kata. Ini nama kami. Taman orang itu yang kalau dia berjalan dia, taman berburu kalau awak dia berburu, aku bisa kata. Mana kalau berburu, saya tak cuma kalau awak itu tak berburu kalau begitu, mati berburu. Jadi dia tak berburu kalau begitu, aku tak berburu. Begitu tidak. Kalau kita tahu ini, ini nak saya, pas pas berburu dia, tapi kalau orang mungkin barang tak ada anak kami berdua saya, padahal itu sedang tertahu betul. Asal ini nanti berburu, bukan anak mana kami jadi anak kecil terlihat ini boleh sebelum anak terlihat tidak lagi saya nak seperti ini anak tahu apa lagi berbeda betul ini kemudian perasaan Karena tadi mungkin orang buruk yang berbuat seperti ini nak kalam karena ada yang mungkin ada itu ada lagi ada kalam karena ini juga buruk tapi bukan malu buruk yang bukan buruk yang ada buruk karena ada kita guna kita berusaha telah ada waktu waktu bersaja enggak yang dulu lagi baru disuruh oleh udah kali saya udah ada sekali udah saya musuh ada sekali itu tidak masalah. Kalau kita lalu berbayar, orang kalau bukan ada yang berwarna. Tapi kalau kita lalu berbayar, orang boleh dia. Kalau ada yang jauh berwarna, mungkin dia boleh dia. Anak kita lalu berbayar ni, anak kita dia, anak kaya. Lepas nak pergi, anak baru disuruh waktu kuda ni. Anak tahu kita perlu duduk perlu, waktu bertahan. Yang mana, nak mana dah tu berkalan. Anak.
Thank you, Mama Mary. Mama Mary, Kani Kelval, Kwani. She is from Pibor area. Thank you very much. She has mentioned how women are being ignored, not being given seats, not being respected. If there are 5 chairs, all the chairs are taken by men. But this has to change. She's going to go back. She's happy. And finally, today is spoken Arabic. So that is something we are going to work on. We have to have an interpreter because there are people who do not know English and even Arabic. Break it down to Arabic so people can understand it. For Malaysia, for yesterday, a little a lot of time. Shukran. As we are coming to the end of the questions, we'll end it because it's already 3:24. We would like to leave at 4 as we had promised. No. Sorry. We will end the questions for people who have asked questions before and who have commented. I will apologize because we want to let you go home early today. All right. At this very moment, I would like to call upon Mr. Aaron Shapiro, who is the advisor, Mr. Shekya Salam, and in charge of media. Can we do it better? 1, 2, 3.
Salam.
Thank you. So normally I don't enjoy speaking at these types of events as the donor representative. But Mama Zara has called me out directly, so now I have to talk. Malaysia Anama Bakalam Arabi. No, this stuff you are talking about is stuff that is very important to me, very dear to me. This is what I think about and work on. When USAID talks about civil society, one of the things they want to do is how do we link national and local? And for all these reasons you said, it's really hard. How do people get internet? How do people get airtime in some places? How do you connect people more than once in a year coming to Juba? These are hard questions. We don't have answers. But I will look forward to reading more the outcomes from this meeting, and if there are any clever ideas for ways that we can do this better. How do we just keep people in touch more? In both presentations, donors are being mentioned a lot. And for better or for worse, donors are a big part of this world. They're not going to get better, is the reality. So Mama Zara, you mentioned the civic engagement centers. That was a big thing for USAID for about 7 years. Even before that, there are past versions of them. And those were in state capitals that you mentioned, Wau, Wheel, Torit, Yambio. Then they changed their strategy. And now their strategy is working in 13 specific counties that they've picked out. And unfortunately, this is what you can probably expect. You might get lucky with a donor at some point. You might then not get lucky for the next 5 years. But on the flip side of that, civil society is not civil society if it only exists for the sake of the donors. And so I want to appreciate the Women's Intellectual Forum because we had some few problems when we were trying to work things out for this small grant. But the thing that we always liked and recognized is that the Women's Intellectual Forum exists whether they have donors or not. Even if it's just meeting online, even if it's just doing the things that don't cost money, they're still trying to do things. And that is important to show that you're actually here trying to be representative of people. And so I would encourage all of you who have different backgrounds and different organizations, really, I hope you know what you are and who you represent and who your constituency is, apart from donors. And then occasionally, if the donors aren't there and if they're paying attention and good, they'll say, hey, we like those people. They know who they are. They know what they're doing. I think I'll end there. We do appreciate everyone for coming and attending and participating. And yeah, we do hope that there's some good thinking that emerges out of this that helps us think how we do things a little bit better in the future. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Aaron. We appreciate USAID and Sheikha Saddam, staff and members supporting the South Sudanese Women Intellectual Group. For those of you who have just come, there are some seats, one here in the front. Okay, we have one more seat here in the front, next to Mama Zara, the General. And Mama General has really proved that Mr. Confidence was not really Mr. Confidence because he ran out. He did not even hear what Mama Zara had to say. So, with us almost coming to a close, I appreciate all of you for staying because our seats are still full. People have not gone home. And that shows one thing, that you are really interested in this conference. I have learned a lot as a presenter. And when I go to the US, I'm traveling on the 23rd, I'll go to Dubai, then New Delhi, then I'll come back to Dubai, and then I'll go to Dallas, Texas, the land of the Cowboys. So go Cowboys, okay? It has been a pleasure being with you. I have enjoyed this. I have learned about all the different organizations. I have to go and do my homework because people use acronyms here a lot. And I was asking, what is that? And they will tell me, what is that? Then they can easily tell it. And we have learned for us to improve our presentation, it's always good to use two languages. We have to use Arabic Juba, Ukaman, Arabic Khartoum, Ukaman, Arabic Ayam Jukaman. I used to hear the man as well, but we put the so we have to use languages that people can understand. I could see the smile on Mama Mary's face today as she was listening and as she was talking to. And that's why it's very important in the bonus of Arabic absorb الفهم ده واحد. نمرة اثنين في حاجات كثيرة احنا اتكلمنا فيه التدريب غيرين يكون في تواصل بين الناس المجتمع المدني والجذور المدنية. مهم خالص لأنه شغالين لنا كلنا لأن بزنس بلد واحد بلد ياكل في وحدة. في كلام يقولوا للناس يكونوا أونلاين أخوانية في كلاب هاوس وأخواني وأخواتي في فيسبوك أونلاين. مشكلة بتاعتي وتويت تعمل كتير لكن زي ما قالت في البيت هم هسه الأخرى من القاعدة وجنبها الأخرى من تويت. يبقى أنتوا الناس الأونلاين خربوا لنا. Okay? Hate speech, we don't need it. ما تكتب وما تقول قبيلة ده. هل تصدقي إنه في ناس من نفس القبيلة ده برضه تعبانين؟ مفيش حاجة في الشوارع. ما ناس كلهم مرتاحين. وما كل قبيلة كلها يعني حقه جمال. صح؟ خليك أنت كويس. وخليني أكون كويس. وأنت أدي لنفسك فرصة until the person moves you into their back. لما تشتغل أنت كلها شغال. Do your best. Don't just work perfect because the boss is there. Do it yourself. لنفسك ولربك. لأنه if you work faithfully, believe me, your work will somebody will talk about you. And somebody can say anything bad about you. My cousin the other day They were saying, I left him, somebody was bothering me and I left. And he said, even if I had complained, I was mad, and I go and say, God is a bad person, nobody will believe. Nobody will to be that person. That when people talk about you, they will remember that they cannot say anything bad. The animal be that. Gariamajim. Gewala much. Which will only ever be wala. Nurata yes be wala much. So there's that light shining here. You walk around, you see something, be a solution. You see a problem, try to solve it. You give of them, much of the shadow. We touch and tell knowledge, you do. That's all about that. You have to be a person who is your sister's keeper. If your sister's crown is moved straight, you straighten it for her. Her success is my success. And my success is your success. The competition that we talked about earlier, please, let us not compete. And a diamond, take the example we have together. When you go to the store, they will say, this is the guy, diamond robber. صح؟ فانت لو عندك منظمه لك، لكن لو اسم بتاعك كويس، لو شغل بتاعك كويس، شغل لو انا جيت بنفس المنظمه جنوب بدل كبير واحد صح؟ وخلينا كلنا نكون ناس نجيب مع بعض. دين هذا مامورو ومادي وشغل كل واحد واخد عامل كلنا وين في الوضع ده. قبيله بتاعت جنوب السودان عشان جنوب السودان ده يمشي قدام ما هننتظر. انا كنت قاعده اسمع فندي جنوب ده فوق امشي لاشياء بيبيعات عنده 20 hours. All you need to do is to go Islamic Hello. امشي لبيبيعات. Look has all the buildings. It has money. What do you need to do? I gave you an example yesterday when I was looking for supplies for the street. What did I do? I contacted her. She and her group, today, the street children medicine has their hands. They have chairs, sit on, they have stools, they have tables, they have. How did it come about? Networking. And then somebody mentioned earlier that networking was not a good thing. Networking in a good way is a good thing. But networking in a bad way, bad thing. Right? So let us, and later, I ask all of you to get to know family. If you know what the person is doing, where that person is from, then you have broken the barrier. You know, for example, Justina, the Young Christian Women Organization, they have macro enterprise. And she had wanted to speak earlier of how to get funding. So please go to her. She's in the back there. We saw some of the mothers have come today. Let us not discourage people with children and think they're going to make noise. Help them out. I like what she did. She took the baby from her and she carried the baby during the conference. And that's what we need to do. What are we here for? To support each other, to empower each other, so that we can go where? We go forward. We can only go forward if we work together as a group. So all these recommendations, Ms. Veronica is going to write them out, and we will see what can be done. Awareness. Awareness is important. Social media. You can use it in so many ways. Don't use it negative to go and insult Zoltan. ما تشتم زول في السوشيال ميديا. ما تنزل مصور كده. لأنه عيالنا بيجي بيسألونا يا ماما نساوين ده ماله ولا الرجال ده ماله. أنت ما بتعرف ولا اللي هيتزوج من وين. أنا دينكاوية اتزوجت بالشركة. دكتورة ناني شركاوية اتزوجت بالبلندر. البلد بيك ملخبط. كويس؟ البلد بيك ملخبط. في بنت صغيرة كانت قاعدة هنا هي من أمها أبوها من لكن أمها Maintain it out of and the same thing. The older there, you don't know how we are all interconnected. عندنا قاسم مشترك واحد هو شنو؟ We are South Sudanese. Our tribe is. So I would like to take this opportunity to thank all of you and also to thank USAID and all the other Shadja Salam. Today I got the pronunciation right. I now know, Shadja Salam. Shadja Muhabba. Shadja Weda. عشان إحنا كلنا نكيف مع بعض. My co-host, I couldn't have done this without these wonderful ladies here. And indeed, Madame Veronica, Maulana Veronica, or indeed Barbara. So Barbara is going to give the word for the facilitators. I was just closing as the South Sudanese Intellectual Women Group. And may God bless you. May God bless the women of South Sudan, the men of South Sudan, and also the youth of South Sudan.
Thank you, Dr. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Without the gentlemen, there are no ladies, and without ladies, there are no gentlemen. So, as today I'm standing here, I know I'm a proud woman. Can we say women way? Women way. Bekoa. Women way. Mama Zahra ma fatahat khusuma. Women power. We are powerful. Women power. Power. I'll give a very brief speech, and on behalf of the facilitators, I'm really honored and it gives me a great pleasure to address this closing. Allow me first to convey special thanks and appreciation to Sedia Salam with funds from USAID for organizing this remarkable workshop. And as we see in the banner, this workshop is about women and youth engagement for inclusive and transformed communities. I hope we take this and we go and implement all the bullet points after this workshop. I would also like to thank the team from South Sudan Women Initiative and the volunteers. Thank you for the great participation of this workshop. I also thank all the participants, me and you, for attending this workshop and sharing all our experiences on what the various organizations, the CSOs, do in the States. It was a great learning experience. I personally learned a lot. Thank you. I really want to appreciate the group discussions and the presentation, and I want to say they were great and I think we should continue with this. I hope we'll have more of this type of capacity building so that we share experiences. And I want to note that during the discussions and presentation, we have learned what we achieved in our CSOs and what achievements we can adopt in our various organizations and associations. We have also learned how to we have identified reasons that disconnect the national and grassroots civil society organizations. And so I request that we avoid these disconnections and connect by strengthening the cooperation, coordination, and networking. We also developed our strategies and action plan. We also developed strategies and action plans, and I hope it doesn't end here. We have to put this in action just from going from this workshop. I would like to thank one of our core members, and I'd like to call her
my mentor, Aisha, who is in Canada, and I think she's online. Thank you, Aisha, for giving us all the opportunity to attend this. Can Aisha say something?
Yes, definitely.
Are you there?
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to leave my camera off because it's 7 a.m. over here. I've stayed the whole night up. But first of all, I just wanted to say a big thank you to everybody who has come, and especially to our USAID, Shajah Salam, Aaron, Aite, and all our team members for all the amazing work that has been done, and also to our volunteers and to our participants from all the different states. We are very grateful to all of you. We've heard what you've said, and we will work to ensure that we connect with the grassroots. The little funding we get, even through conversation. Some of the things actually doesn't even require us to have a lot of money to be able to get to the grassroots level, because we can still connect via online platform to be able to know, what the issues you're going through and stuff. So thank you again very much. And, we appreciate you. And, we hope that we'll be able to continue with this conversation. So we will go ahead and develop a report, and then we'll see if agreed by our donor, then we'll see how to actually share with you for further action. But thank you very much as you travel back, especially people who came from outside Juba. May you travel safe, and may we please keep in touch. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Aisha. And let me finish by saying that all of us worked hard, all of you worked hard, and in the last 2 days, and this work starts now. Our work after this workshop starts today by interacting and paving way to build stronger connections and interactions. And by doing so, we'll strengthen the women. I emphasize women organizations and groups. So let us continue with this networking and also collaboration from the grassroots and to the national levels. I once again would like to thank all of you for your participation, and I look forward, we look forward, not me, we as women of South Sudan, we look forward for this to continue so that we empower women so that they are able to participate in governance, leadership, and peace building. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Barbara. I have a few announcements to make. Number one, I do not know how many of us have been paying attention to these posters that we put in front of every chair. These posters have important messages. Yes, so if you have already misplaced or thrown yours away, we have extra ones. Take it, post it somewhere. Somebody can benefit from the messages which are on these posters. Announcement number two, tickets for those people who came from the States. Please do not leave this hall before you get your tickets. The tickets are on the way, they are being brought here, so please do not walk out without it. Or they are actually here already. Yes, people leaving tomorrow. If you are not leaving, please try to. Also, not all of them are leaving tomorrow. Okay. Anyway, so if you came from the States, stay behind and you receive the full information about your return back to your state. And number three, we were supposed to have, for the Juba people, we're supposed to have transport refund for today. Before you walk out, see Victoria at the exit if you haven't received your transport refund during the day. And with that, I want to thank all of you for being here, for being attentive, and for participating. See you next time, and bye.
right, I forgot the tea. Oh yes, we have tea. Please take tea before you go home. Bye.